Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. Alexander Graham Bell. A very good morning to everyone present here. I am Sana Pramod and I welcome you all for today's session on the topic Target Gate, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in association with Computer Society of India, MBCET. I'm also privileged to have Dr. John Jose with us today as a speaker. Welcome, sir. As we all know, Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering, simply known as GATE, is an examination conducted by India that primarily tests the comprehensive understanding of various undergraduate subjects. Many of us might actually be preparing for it, but the real question is, do we really know its importance and opportunities that it holds? Well, today's session covers exactly all these queries. Now, I'd like to call Ria P. Matthew for the welcome speech.
It is said the best way to predict future is to create it, and it depends on what we do in the present. Distinguished resource person of the day, members of the faculty, coordinators of the session, and my dear fellow mates, I wish you all a very warm good morning. Today, it is my regarded duty to deliver the welcome address. It is my greatest pleasure to introduce you all to our esteemed resource person of the day, Dr. John Jose, who will be walking us through the essential keystones for GATE and its preparation. Sir is an experienced personality with several attributes on his record. He has obtained his bachelor's from CUSAT, MTech from Vellore Institute of Technology, and PhD from IIT Madras. He is currently working as an associate professor for the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Guwahati. He has got his interests in various areas like computer architecture, hardware and IoT security, disaggregated systems, etc. He also has several published articles and projects on his record. Sir, on behalf of the management, staff, and students of MBCET, I welcome you to this session. This session has been jointly collaborated with CSI MBCET, and I welcome all the coordinators and faculties in charge who has put their best efforts in pulling this off together. I also welcome all of you to this session and urge that you get its essence and fervor to the fullest. Wishing you all a fruitful session and a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Over to you, sir. I guess we can start the session now. Thank you, Ria.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I hope I am audible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me share my screen also, and then once if that is also there, then it's...
So the screen.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So good morning, all of you. On the outset, let me thank the organizers of the program, specifically the CSI chapter of our Baselios College of Engineering and Technology and head of the department, Dr. Tessie, for giving me a chance to interact on this topic. Over the last few months, we were being specifically targeting some of the good institutions in the country to give an awareness about GATE exam and its importance. So I thought, being one of the leading institutions in South India, thought of having an interaction with the students of MBCET would also be good. The purpose of this talk is not for those who are planning for an MTech program in IITs or in any premier technical institutes in the country. There are a lot of other avenues also for GATE. So there is some misconception in the academic community that GATE is all about MTech program. So I just wanted to have some kind of a detailed discussion on that. The rest of my talk is organized in such a way that there is, after a couple of 20 to 25 minutes, we'll take a couple of questions, and then I'll talk about the rest of my presentation, and at the end also we can have questions. So the organizers can plan in such a way that since you are there in one auditorium, students who have queries can come forward later and then ask through the mic so that I can address them. Okay, so having said this, I once again thank organizers for the opportunity, and I wish that at the end of the session you will be more enlightened with what GATE is all about and whom all it is applicable. So, as already mentioned, GATE stands for the abbreviation of Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. It is an examination that tests the comprehensive understanding of various undergraduate subjects in engineering and science. It is also considered as a single exam for admission into master's program and recruitment by some public sector companies as well. So the first point is it is a comprehensive test that checks your capability, your understanding in various undergraduate subjects. It need not be for any admission. So people who have completed a 4-year engineering program in the country, if they wanted to know where they stand, what is the capability or skill set that they have acquired, so irrespective of the job that you got or a campus placement that you get, this is always considered as a quality stamping, which should be part of your CV. Let's say whenever you go, you put your class 10 marks, class 12 marks, and so something similar to that. Gate score also will be part of your CV if you qualify on it. And that shows that on a national level examination, this is what you performed. Whether you go for a master's program or not, this shows where you stand overall nationally. But if someone wanted to go for a higher studies in the country for a master's or a doctoral program, then this acts as a single point of exam, single exam. And in the last half a decade, many public sector companies, many of the Navaratna public sector companies also started recruiting from GATE rather than having individual entrance examination for the recruitment. If you are GATE qualified, then you get an elite entry into these public sector companies, which pay you at par with the central government employees or state government employees, giving you better job perks and other security benefits. GATE examination is conducted jointly by the 7 IITs. You know that there are 23 IITs. Out of that, 7 IITs conduct the GATE exam. They are IIT Bombay, Delhi, Guwahati, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Madras, and Roorkee, along with Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And this job is entrusted on the 7 IITs and IIC Bangalore on behalf of the National Coordination Board of GATE, which is a subsection of Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education, Government of India. So these are the institutes which are given the responsibility for conducting the GATE exam. That doesn't mean that it is only for admission to this institute. They take care of all the logistics, preparation of question, conducting of exam, declaration of the result, and distributing to all institutes in the country, such that if at all there is any admission related thing, that can be handled. Since it has been handled by the IITs over the years, that carries its own value, and the highest level of quality is been also maintained. So every year, one of the institute is being selected by the Ministry of Education as the organizing institute. And all the 8 institutes, 7 IITs and IIC, there are 8 zonal institutes. So the entire country, the geographical territory of India, is divided into 8 zones. We call zone 1 up to zone 8. So each city or town is coming under a zone, so that the examination of that particular city is handled by them. So for the upcoming GATE 2023, which happens on the first and second week of February 2023, IIT Kanpur is the organizing institute, and all the institute names that you can see, they are the zonal institute, including IIT Kanpur. Being in Trivandrum, Kerala is divided into 2 zones. The northern portion of Kerala, consisting of 6 to 7 districts, they come under zone 1, which is part of IIC Bangalore, whereas the southern portion of Kerala, central Travancore and southern Kerala, and the entire Tamil Nadu, they comes under the IIT Madras zone, which is actually zone 7. So I will talk about it a little later. What is the evolution of GATE? In 1983, there was a need for a standard admission procedure for master's program in the IITs, and that was the history of the beginning of GATE. What you see is the brochure of 1983 GATE, and over the years, the GATE has grown, and 2023 IIT Kanpur is organizing the GATE exam. On a rotation basis, different IITs get the organizing role. So when it comes to organizing, it is nothing but like they will be taking care of the application calling, candidates, the application, the fees collection, and then based upon the preference, the city allotment, taking care of preparation of various question papers of various disciplines, and handling all the crowd. Everything is being generally handled by that. So you can see that over the years, which all IITs or IIC have been on the organizing institute. Now, what are the opportunities coming through GATE? Point number one is admission. A valid GATE score is used for seeking admission to master's program, which is called ME or MTech, or direct doctoral program, PhD program in engineering or technology. Recently, AICT, UGC, and Ministry of Education has confirmed that if you have a good percentage of marks or 7.5 out of 10 and a valid GATE score, you can apply for a direct doctoral program. So after BTech, you can directly go for a 5-year PhD program. Previously, only after completion of MTech it is allowed. Now, if the candidate is meritorious and has a GATE score, then it is possible for direct doctoral program also. So two things, if you are looking for an MTech program in the country, then you should have a valid GATE score. I will tell you what is a valid GATE score later, or it is even applicable to direct doctoral program. And for arts and science also nowadays for doctoral program, GATE has been made mandatory. So point number one, the first opportunity is any admission, GATE is going to be the single point of entry. Second one is financial assistance. You know that for your BTech program, you need to pay a fees, and at the end of that, you will get a degree if you complete all the requirements for completion of the mandatory degree by the number of credits. When it comes to a master's program, along with the admission, you are going to get a stipend also. So you will get a financial assistance from qualified GATE candidates if you are admitted in a master's program or a direct doctoral program, if for engineering, technology, architecture, science, or commerce. So how much is the money? If you're joining for an MTech program, then government will give you every month 12,400 rupees. And that is being paid for a period of 22 months. So typically at the age of 21, if you have a job, maybe in a campus placement, you may be getting a salary from 25,000 to 40,000. Then very exceptional candidates get more than 40,000 a month. Here what you get, you are studying for an extra degree. So in another 2 years, you get an additional degree from one of the institutes of repute. As well as every month, there is a monthly allowance of 12,400. None of the country have this kind of a mechanism because education is basically self-supporting. So this is like with the taxpayers' money, when you study MTech, you are been getting a scholarship. Then ultimately, once you get a job, then that's all about you getting the benefit. Now, if you decided for a doctoral program, then every month you are going to get 31,000. So it's a 5-year scholarship. First 2 years, you get 31,000 per month, which is approximately equal to the campus placement jobs in the IT sector that you get at an entry-level software engineer. And for the 3 years, so it's a 5-year PhD program. First 2 years, 31,000. Next 3 years, 35,000. So that is the financial assistance component. So first is the admission. Second one is financial assistance. Now, third is many public sector undertakings, we call it as PSUs, have been using the GATE score in their recruitment process. So over the last 4 or 5 years, if you look into the top, let's say 50 GATE scorers in each of the branch, top 50 out of 100, in a rank of numbers 1 to 100, 50 of them generally prefer to go for public sector undertaking jobs. These are all government jobs that you get. And nowadays, there is always a good rush to have a public sector job. So what are the companies? You can see, you might have heard about these kind of companies, BHEL, BSNL, COLD, Center for Railway Information System, like that. You can see in the list is very long. All of these companies, their recruitment process is only through GATE. You need to have a valid GATE score, and some companies may have some additional interview process. So they stopped conducting their own entrance examination. There was filtering examination. You need to have some minimum percentage of marks in BTech followed by this. And the kind of salaries what they all offer is up to close to 80,000 to 90,000 is the entry salary for an engineer that is coming, which is much higher than what the IT companies offer. And many of them are controlled by the central government or supported by central government. So the salary and perks is as equal to the central government employees. And some of the direct recruitment to group A level posts in the central government, like senior field officer, senior research officer in the cabinet secretariat, government of India, is all now based upon GATE score. So this is yet another important way in which you can have a very good, easy career path. Some of these companies I have already marked as a red color. These are companies where there are higher number of opportunities for students from computer science branch as well. That doesn't mean in the other areas you are not having streams. So out of the 21, you can see close to 6 or 7 of them have a good number of computer science graduates also being absorbed. So what generally happens is maybe due to the lack of awareness, many students from Kerala, they never bother to appear even for GATE exam. So forget about applying or knowing about public sector companies. I'm not aware how many of you sitting in this auditorium are knowing that there exist these kind of 21 public sector companies which are recruiting from GATE. And there are some companies which have vacancies from computer science branch as well. Recently, Government of India is having talks with many other public sector companies, including some of the defense labs, space labs, and arms and ammunitions, the Central Police Force Research Lab, forensics labs, where there will be more number of opportunities for GATE scorers in the CS branch. So if you look for an entry position in some of these companies which give you a good job guarantee, better profile and challenging work environment, and moreover contributing to the greater growth of the nation, kindly consider appearing for the GATE exam. Now, why to appear for the GATE? So first and foremost, like what I told, coveted public sector undertaking jobs, you will get only if you have a qualified GATE score. Second one, if at all you need to have an MTech or PhD from prestigious institutes like the country, from IITs, IIC, NITs or triple ITs, their entry process is strictly based upon GATE. You need to have a minimum marks for the BTech, and on top of that, you need to have a GATE score. Now you may be thinking, Baselios is a college which a reasonably good campus placement record, and some of you might have already secured a job placement, or in the coming months you may get a secure jobs. So why should I go for a higher study? I don't want to study for an MTech. Already I have suffered a lot in the 4 year of my BTech program. So why should I study more? There is a very common kind of a notion with respect to the same thinking across the South Indian cities, especially Bangalore, Chennai, Trivandrum, Cochin and all. But when you go to Andhra and Telangana, where Hyderabad is there, even though students get campus placement, they don't want to go for it. What they consider is, if in 4 years of time, from a reasonably good college with good infrastructure, laboratory facilities, faculty and all, like what you have in your college, if you get a campus placement job in 4 years time from a reasonably good college, what kind of job that you will get if you do additional study of 2 years for an MTech or a 4 to 5 years for a PhD from an institute of repute that is already been marked like this. So you have proved that you are capable of getting a good job from a private engineering college. What would have been your skill set, your enhanced skill set, if you additionally spend 2 or 4 years? That gives you entry into much elite jobs. Some of you might have initially thought of then applying to IITs for your BTech. Some of you might have written JEE main examination and all. Some of you might have narrowly missed these opportunities. But if we are not going to make use of these opportunities to study further, whatever campus placement job that you have now, there is no guarantee that these jobs are going to be there till lifelong for you. Later, after 1 or 2 years, if you feel that, okay, you are not comfortable in the kind of job what you have now, or you feel the job is not challenging, you are not comfortable with the working environment, then you come to the open pool of market and it may be difficult to switch if you don't have necessary skill set. Moreover, you have heard about our nearby countries which are faced by natural calamities like Pakistan floods that you happened, the economic crisis in Sri Lanka, the war-related issue in Ukraine, and many other events happening in nearby. Life in future is going to be really inconsistent. We don't know what is being waiting. So all the coveted jobs that you have, a lot of our aspirants went to other countries, and the war-torn country, they also returned back, some with jobs, some with half degrees and all. We also don't know what is waiting for us. So as a wise advice, what I try to recommend is try to get as much as qualification as possible, so that tomorrow if there is any kind of a job crisis also, people with higher qualifications, and that too from institute of repute and exposure, would be having an added benefit if at all you wanted to move to some other portions of the world to settle and migrate. So that is the advantage of having an MTech program from this. Moreover, job placement to many core companies, which they might not have been coming to Baselios College, but then if you have an MTech program in some of these some of the IITs, you may get into that. Moreover, some core companies nowadays asking, especially in the last 2 to 3 years of disturbed COVID pandemic related troubles, many of them are not believing in kind of marks that you have in the university system. because the examination process was not that foolproof and the learning also was not foolproof. Moreover, you study for, let's say, 2 or 3 months, and after these 2 or 3 months, you are going to have a semester and examination. So you focusly study on few certain topics and then you write an exam. Whereas for GATE, it is your examination, your competency level is being checked from semester 1 up to semester 6 in a 3-hour continuous exam. So what generally happen is sometimes companies will prefer these kind of competency level because rather than focused study on a subject for 3 to 4 months and then writing a 3-hour examination, how good you are in, let's say, 10 important subjects of CS. So that is the way it is going to be acting. Okay. So, and then post-graduation in selected foreign universities is also now the entry is through GATE. Research staff position in government-funded projects. Many government-funded projects to R&D laboratories, scientific labs and all, they also take project positions with engineers and they prefer people who have a GATE qualification score. Moreover, GATE is a quality stamping by a national level agency. Now, higher studies in India through GATE, a master's degree lead to specialization and advanced subject knowledge leading to research openings and PhD positions. And better opportunities to get absorbed in more domain-specific or core companies if you have a degree from leading institutes. Some of the companies will come only to IITs and NITs for recruitment. So if at all you are aspiring for such high-profile positions, then a higher degree will be always helpful. And you are sure that there will be higher salary packages for postgraduate students when compared to the undergraduate. Certain companies will take only postgraduate students. It may be different from the kind of campus placements what you see in your college, where UG and PG is treated at most same. But if you are not aware about these kind of opportunities, somebody else will come up to these positions. Somebody who is less meritorious than you with respect to the undergraduate studies, they may prepare for GATE and come and then enter into these institutes and may get an added benefit. And 10 years down the line, their profile would be much better than that of yours. And if you're looking for a faculty position in leading universities or the research position in scientific laboratories, then a master's degree or a PhD degree is must. So in that way also you should think. And moreover, you get a good scholarship of 12,500 rupees or 35,000 rupees is been paid if you're doing a master's or a PhD program. So there is much less financial dependency on your parents. You yourself can pay the fees and you are getting the scholarship coming out. So if your parents cannot financially support you, if you have a GATE score and then you further work, that will be an added benefit. When it comes to higher studies of prestigious national institutes, what is the advantage? First of all, it is access to state-of-art infrastructure. Multiple thousands of crores of rupees are being funded from the national budget to enhance and augment the infrastructure to attract the best of the faculties in the world to teach in these institutes. So you may be having to work with the best state-of-art facilities. You might have done with an OS lab or a networks lab or an architecture lab or databases lab. But then these are all with the limited the infrastructure that the college can provide. But once you move to higher education institute, you will be part of writing an OS, configuring a network switch or a router, doing some advanced level research laboratories. So that will improve your skills, and that's what many of the companies really want. And we know that an institute becomes really great if the best in the country wanted to study there. So they come through a very competitive examination process. The best in the country wanted to teach there, and the best of the companies wanted to recruit from there. So you see the kind of institutes which are well reputed, the country's best students wanted to study, the country's best teachers wanted to teach, and the country's best employers wanted to recruit. So obviously, since the IITs or the premier institutes are able to attract reputed faculty, working with them, doing a project with them or an internship with them will always enhance you and will get you an entry into many of the leading institutions. And then every student or every friend of you who are part of this institute after you join for a master's or a PhD program, they also come through this competitive process. So the exposure of you while you stay in the hostel is with highly competitive peer groups. So the kind of discussions and debates, the technical interactions that you have in the campus will obviously take you to the next higher level. when every student is coming with merit and merit based admissions only. See, what happened is when you have a non-merit system for entry into a system, we have people ranging with all academic level caliber that is going to come. And sometimes what happens is when you are going to an institute where there is a very high fee, probably you may see only people who are from well affluent family groups only will be there. So the kind of thinking process, your interaction process, all would be limited to the kind of peer groups. Peer groups means other friends that you have in the campus. But once you move into a place where it is entry completely based upon an exam, then there is no variation or difference between whether you are from an affluent family or a poor family. There is no regional bias. We get people across the states. So you are interacting with a highly competitive peer group. By virtue of its your thought process, your thinking, your interaction, your scientific temperament, everything is going to change. And many of these prestigious institutes may have tie-up with international universities and academicians. Many of the Nobel laureates, Padma awardees will frequently visit these institutions for talks and then interaction. Some of the professors may have collaboration with the international universities. So what happened is while being part of these institutes, you may also get a chance to visit foreign universities as part of collaboration, to interact with other academicians for short-term internships and all completely funded by the university. Moreover, it is an entry for allied placements like what I discussed. Later also, it is an easy entry to develop the countries for jobs, studies and migration. Let's say down the line, you don't want it to be here in India. You wanted to go abroad and settle in some other country. And when a visa officer is looking at your application for a migrant visa to those countries, what would they prefer? They would prefer somebody with one undergraduate degree or somebody with a postgraduate degree from an institute of repute. So even every country in this world wanted to attract the best of the skills and best of the minds. So what they generally do, they will give immigration clearance only for those who are having highest degree and really skilled. Then only their economic system, their education system and the industrial ecosystem will grow. So if at all down the line, if you have any plans to migrate to other countries, another degree, an extra degree on top of your undergraduate degree would be always helpful. At the end, access to excellence will refine us, leading to urge for excellence. Moreover, it is a lifelong prestigious tag that is going to come. So down the line, 10 or 15 years down the line, when you are going for a senior administrative role, sometimes the institute from which you graduated also matters. So if there is an opportunity to study further, kindly explore the options. And how are typically students rating this? When you get a gate score, what is your general order of preference? Let's say you know that for in Kerala entrance, if you get the top score, then some of you will prefer College of Engineering Trivandrum and some of the prestigious government colleges, and then the other colleges, the best private colleges like that. Over the years, the trend is the top scorers always opt for public sector undertaking jobs with good salary packages. Some public sector will conduct their own test, but with gate syllabus. So that is added advantage. Some of the public sector companies which I have not listed, they may conduct their own examinations, but if they are not recruiting from gate, the syllabus is same. So studying for gate will give an added advantage. Once the initial set of numbers are absorbed in public sector companies, then the next top with the set will go for the IAC or top IITs in terms of ranking. I'll show you about what the ranking is. Others may go for the top NITs or the other IITs or new IITs. And then comes the preference to triple ITs, the other NITs, centrally funded or state government funded technical universities. People may prefer foreign universities. Some foreign universities are also taking with gate score. And there are some private companies who come for recruitment in some of your campuses. They will give you a preference if you have a good gate score, because that shows a quality stamping along with the marks that you have. And if you're looking for any research and development staff positions in government funded projects like junior research fellow or senior research fellow, this qualification is always possible only if you have a gate score. And if you are going for any other government job or sometimes the private university job, they also conduct some subject specific entrance where also the gate exam syllabus is more or less matched. Coming to how public sector undertaking hiring is there. First, what they do, public sector companies will shortlist the candidates based upon his or gate score. and based upon available vacancy. So they will tell sometimes your BTech should have 70% mark or 75% mark, and then with that much BTech mark followed by a gate score, they will shortlist you if you apply for a public sector companies. Then there will be interviews based upon your subject knowledge. Don't forget your BTech project also is being discussed during these interviews, and there can be some HR-related interview later. There can be 1 or 2 rounds of group discussions. And at the end, what they do is they make an aggregated score with 70 to 80% weightage given to gate, and remaining 20% for your interview score, your group discussion score, your marks in the graduation, and the awards and achievements that you have. But some public sector companies, they may not conduct any interview or group discussion. They will publish their final list only based upon the gate score. That's also been the trend because they don't want to conduct anything. They simply completely believe in the capability of a student with respect to that gate score, and then they do. So with this, the first portion of my talk is over. If there are any questions, the moderators can coordinate it based upon what we discussed. It'll take 5 minutes for any questions before I proceed with the other. If someone wanted to ask a question, they can stand up and then the mic can be given, something like that.
Questions? Sir, I guess we can continue with the session and we can take up questions at the end.
Yeah, but if there is any question at this point, we would be able to clear it rather than waiting for the end. If no questions, we will go forward. So either that means students are not interested, or they don't want to ask questions, or you didn't able to understand. And it generally happens also sometimes when everybody is forced to sit inside a hall who are not then interested in GATE. This happens, okay. But if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take it now.
Hi, sir. Good morning, first of all. And sir, I just want to ask a simple question. You said a lot of advantages of writing exam in national level and in public sectors and all. How it is very useful. So I just want to know what are the advantages of writing GATE in international standard levels, or how useful is it for an international job, or like it's right now a trend for everyone to like migrate for higher studies and all. So in that case and all, how useful is GATE exam? Yeah.
Okay, so you are talking about how much value a GATE score will have when it comes to migration after a UG program, right? Not after PG, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In jobs
Thank
also.
you. Okay. So this question is nowadays, since many of the learned community are not feeling comfortable at the end of their studies that they have a promising future in the country, people wanted to go for greener pastures to other developed countries. So what they generally look into is outside India, the system that is being known if you go to any outside India is they have heard about a system called as JEE exam, which is done nationwide as an entry into the admission program into some of the good technical institutes in the country. The second other exam that is known outside India for many universities is about GATE exam, because it is conducted centrally, nationwide, and any students can write, and that also shows the number of students that appear GATE exam every year. Last year we got close to 9 lakh students writing. So close to 1 million students writing an exam. It is not that a joke. The rest of the world also is watching on it. So what I heard from some of the students who have migrated and all, they generally look into your CV. Why your CV? Nowadays, there is a number of students who wanted to migrate from the country to other developed countries has drastically increased. What you need to have is, nowadays, you need to have a difference in your CV. Why people migrate? Why some other country is taking you? Because there is lack of skilled manpower in the country. That's why they are having a welcoming note from other countries. So to understand that, first you need to prove that you are really skilled and you possess some skill that is different from others. So that will come up with your undergraduate mark percentage, point number one. Additional certificates or skills that you have taken, which shows your extra proficiency apart from your undergraduate degree. And the third one is whether you are being qualified or some quality stamping is given by a third neutral agency. Something like we take certification. GATE is also considered sometimes in some universities as a certification. Somebody else, see what you have in a mark list. Mark list is very important when you go and migrate, because people look into what is the kind of percentage of marks that you acquired over a 4-year program, 10th and 12th marks. So they really wanted to make sure that, okay, you have been consistently perform academic performance is really good. So you may be able to do justice to the country in which you are going to migrate. Always a neutral quality stamping will be helpful. So under these circumstances, what happens is a reasonably very high GATE score shows that, okay, this candidate has been quality stamped by a third agency where lot many lakhs of students wrote an exam and he came in first one out of, or maybe he came in first 5,000 or 10,000 out of 1 lakh people who wrote that stream. And this candidate wanted to come and contribute to my country. Then obviously the people who are there in the visa officer or somebody who will feel, okay, somebody who are really performed in a country with a lot many competitive exam, this guy's score shows that he belonged to the top n percentage of candidates and he wanted to come to my country. I will be always giving him preference to welcome to my country because his skill set is at another quality stamping that is being done. But that may not be considering in all the countries, but the number of people applying to foreign places for migration has exponentially increased. So then within 1 or 2 years, because there was a huge demand for nurses 1 decade before, and then almost all places, because then a lot many people are looking for a nursing program, and then suddenly there was a stagnation. So we are also going to see that such a kind of stagnation will happen soon, or the other developing countries also may follow this pattern. So once the stagnation comes, then they will become more choosy. When people are more choosy, what the advantage is? They will go for, or they will handpick people who have a different CV, who have a different set of skill or quality test. At this point, GATE helps, and it has helped also a lot many people in the past, especially when it considering for. So it's all about making a difference. So it is not about just qualifying a GATE score, a reasonably very good GATE score, which shows that you are first 5,000 in some branch or whatever. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much, sir, for that answer. Do we have any more questions? Okay, so I guess we can continue with the session now.
Okay. So now the next thing is I am focusing a little bit of time on, if at all you wanted to do an MTech program, once you write a GATE exam, you get a GATE score. How do you apply? There are so many institutes, so many places. How do you are going to apply? So there are 2 portals through which this application for admission in India happens. One is known as COAP. This is the admission portal link which was organized by IIT Bombay last year, for which the admission, every academic admission for IITs, for MTech admission in IITs for the year 2022, the responsibility was given to IIT Bombay. And this portal is known as Common Offer Acceptance Portal. Similarly, for 2023 also, some institute will be given the responsibility and then they will be hosting this. So what is this? After a GATE score, you have to apply to those institutes which you are interested. How do you know that? You need to look into the infrastructure facilities, the ranking overall. I will talk about that. Once you apply, then this institute will look into your GATE score, and some of the institutes may have some cutoff mark for your BTech percentage, some cutoff mark for your GATE. Ultimately, they all will release, okay, you are shortlisted for your program or you are in the waiting list. Rather than sending the offers to each individual candidate, they publish the offers through this common portal, something similar to the Kerala Keem college allotment portal that you have seen 4 years before. But this is exclusively for IITs only. So that is COAP, and then you can see that you got offer from 2, 3 IITs, and you can accept one of them, and then you can give higher preference to the others as well. The second one, if your gate score shows that you may not be able to get into IITs, then you go for the next level of institute, which is called NIT. In Kerala, our NIT is in Calicut. So the NIT admissions comes through centralized counseling for MTech, which is called CCMT. So one separately for IIT, it is called COAP, and one separately for NITs and triple ITs. Triple ITs are Indian Institute of Information Technology, exclusively for computer science and electronics. So these two portals will help you so that you need not travel to all these places. You can apply and you can look into COAP or CCMT to know that where is it. But there is no connection between these two. So if you are sure that with your rank you will get into IIT, apply only in COAP. If you are sure that with your rank you may not be able to get into IIT, but you are sure you will get only into NIT, you apply in CCMT. But if it is doubtful, your rank is somewhere in narrow border between good IITs and good NITs, then you may have to apply in both and see where is your offer that has been coming. Now, how do you choose institutes? Choosing of the institute, this is the way how to look at it. There are a lot of agencies which conduct some ranking, and then every university during the admission season will tell we are rank 1, we are top 10, we are sad, we are this. So it all comes with a paid advertisement. It will really confuse a parent as well as a student. So considering this, the government of India, especially the Ministry of Education, has proposed a new framework which is known as National Institution Ranking Framework. So every year, for all participating institutes across various streams, government used to collect many information, and based on this information and fact checking, including your college, there is a mechanism by which the institutions are ranked by the government. So that gives more credibility than it is being done by any private agency, because there is no money involved in it. Government does it from government's end, and every university will give its details. So you can see that the institutions in the country is ranked as university category, colleges which study arts and science college, research institutions, engineering institutions, management, pharmacy, medical, dental, law and architecture. Across these streams, institutions are being ranked. You can find out what is the criteria. It comes with the placement category, it comes with the admission process, the qualification of faculty, the experience, their publication, the infrastructure facilities, the number of students going abroad for studies, the perception about the institution by the industry, the kind of funding that you get, facilities, all aspects put together. You can go to NIRF website. Every year they publish a ranking. The recent ranking of NIRF was released in June. So I will give a brief glimpse of it. So in 2022, under the engineering category, nationwide, these are the first 15 institutions. So if you are looking for an MTech program, if you get into these 15 institutions, that will really make you entry. And then what happens is, if you have a degree from these institutions, there are a lot of international placements which comes handy for you for a migration. So with a higher degree, and directly you may be able to get into companies which have presence planet. So IIT Madras consistently was rank 1. You can see that more or less up to the rank 15, there is not much change in 2022. This is for 2021 and this is for 2020. So lot many parameters are being checked, and accordingly the ranks are being given. If you wanted to know, the all details are available on the website, and it shows more credibility. So this gives you some idea based upon your score, where are the potential places. So these are the potential places where top scorers in the gate have really applied for. Now, these are all institutions with rank list from 16 to 30. Similarly, up to 300 is there. You can know, if you wanted to know where MBCET starts, you can go and refer to NIRF website and then find out where do you stand. So it's always good to have an undergraduate degree and then go for a postgraduate program or a doctoral program. And many of these institutes, they will take you directly for a PhD program. And there is a wrong notion that PhD is all for teaching. That is wrong. From many IITs, especially in computer science, 80% of the PhD graduates are not going for teaching profession. Only 20 are going for teaching profession. The remaining 80 are being absorbed into many R&D companies. Now, the difference is, so for example, Microsoft may take you even after BTech. Some of your friends might have got a job, or the same Microsoft may take you with a PhD also. What is the difference? So typically, after an undergraduate, if you get a job, your job position would be at level 3 or level 4. Level 1 will be the lowest salary level, level 3 or level 4. But if you do a PhD program, then the same Microsoft will take you, for example, level 8 or level 9, which in the normal case, joining Microsoft after BTech, it may take 10 to 12 years to reach level 8 or level 9, whereas with a 5-year PhD program, you directly enter into the higher level salary positions. And the work profile also would be different. The work would be more challenging, and you will get a lot of the international exposure as well. Now, I told there are some foreign universities, especially the two important universities in Singapore, NUS, National University of Singapore, globally ranked 12th, overall ranking, world ranking, and Nanyang Technological University known as NTU in Singapore, which ranked 13. They will take students if your GATE score is above 90. Similarly, in Germany, two universities, Technical University of Germany and RWTH Essen, Germany, their corresponding QS ranking has been shown. There also you will take the RWTH Essen. They will not take based upon the GATE score, but then a GATE score is good. It's not like 90 cutoff, whether the other three has 90 cutoff. With the good diplomatic relations that we have, and with the constant interaction from Ministry of Education, Ministry of Skill Development, and Ministry of External Affairs, lot many universities are been looking forward for graduate Indians to study there. Because sometimes this GRE, the entrance rank or the entrance exam fee may be higher for an average Indian. So they don't want to miss out some average the Indian when it comes to the financial stability. They don't want to miss such good, bright candidate just because the exam is very costly. So nowadays they are planning to. So within another 1 year, you come to know many universities will start recruiting from GATE. The discussion is going on because we are getting our GATE candidates are getting more acceptability in foreign universities. So then that gives a layered advantage. But then please do remember that if you get an admission in foreign university, you will not get scholarship from India. Only GATE is acting as an entry point for admission. Now coming to GATE, there are 29 different streams in which you can write GATE exam. From last but 1 year onwards, you can write at most 2 papers. Let's say you wanted to write in computer science as well as electronics, it is permitted. You wanted to write in statistics and computer science, that is permitted. Like that, you can see what are the 2 different streams in which you can write. So these are the different subject code that you have. Now, what is the minimum eligibility criteria? A candidate who is studying in the 3rd or higher degree of any undergraduate program, or those who are completed GATE can write. Even let's say you wanted to go for a job and maybe after 2 years you wanted to write GATE, perfect. There is no age limit. There is no limit on the number of times that you can write the GATE exam. So this shows what is the minimum eligibility criteria. Now what I told, GATE 2023 is organized by IIT Kanpur. So application call for is also done by them. 30th September is the last date. So in another 4 days, if at all you are then interested, you can go to this website gate.iitk.ac.in and then you can go for it. And GATE exam every year happens on the 2nd and the 3rd, first Saturday, Sunday and 2nd Saturday, Sunday. So the dates are already fixed, February 4 and 5, February 11 and 12, and each day there is a forenoon session and an afternoon session. So totally 4 days, 4 into 2, 8 sessions are there. Out of the 8 sessions, 1 session would be for computer science. So that they will fix up and then let you know. So if you are interested, kindly go to the GATE brochure in the GATE website and then do the registration. And you can choose a city of your preference for writing the GATE exam. So based upon what is the potential area or where you would be probable place of your location in February 1st and 2nd week, you can appropriately give 2-3 cities. So the application process has already started. Last date of closing of application is 30th September. Up to October 7, you can pay with a late fee. And up to November 11, if at all you have any change in category, let's say you are from general to go to OBC or SC or ST or any category change is allowed up to November 11. Any new addition for city preferences or removing certain cities of preference of writing the GATE exam is being, if you wanted any change, you can do that. And the exams, like what I mentioned, it will happen on February 4 and 5, 11 and 12. And forenoon session is from 9:30 to 12:30. And afternoon session is from 2:30 to 5:30. And on March 16, Thursday, the exams result would be out. So you can see that everything is very much streamlined. When is the exam, when is the application process, when is the result, everything. Now coming to the pattern of GATE exam, it is a computer-based test for 3 hours, which consists of general aptitude first and then a selected subject. So you will be writing CS if you want. So general aptitude is common for all students who write GATE on that particular day. But there, for example, there can be so chemical engineering and computer science on the same day. So the students of CS will get CS part, that's part B, and the chemical will get the other portion. Three different type of questions: multiple choice questions, multiple select questions, and numerical answer type questions. I'll come to that. And the questions are set to check the ability of students in four aspects. First is, can you recall some concept? Basically trying to remember and then trying to get back, recall concept, comprehension concept, then application concept, and then analysis and synthesis concept. So recall, comprehension, application, and analysis. Recall means simply trying to understand the fact, we'll asking some basic details and we have to reply it back. It's considered to be very easy. 40% of questions in GATE exam are of recall type. Comprehension means you have to understand the fact and you have to apply and you have to make some reasoning. And based upon your application knowledge there, you may have to do. Maybe a small equation, you may need to solve some numericals involved. Application is from the given data, you have to apply your understanding and then how to find out the reasons. And analysis and synthesis are of little higher level. There are a total of 65 questions in a GATE exam paper, out of which 10 of them are general aptitude, not related to computer science subject. Remaining 55 are of subject questions. This general aptitude will carry 15 marks. Engineering mathematics carry 13 marks. All other subjects in computer science put together will go up to 72 marks. So that makes a total of 100. Some of them are 1 mark questions, some of them are 2 mark questions. Now coming to the different types of questions, one is multiple choice question. Like what you know, each applicant will be provided with 4 options, out of which 1 is correct. For the wrong answer in an MCQ, there is negative marking. So there can be 1 mark question and 2 mark question. For 1 mark MCQ, if it is correct, you get 1 mark. If it is wrong, you will lose 1/3 of a mark. Similarly, if it is for a 2 mark, then MCQ. Some questions can be little difficult. That's why it's 2 mark. If it is correct, you get 2 mark. If it is wrong, you will lose 2/3 of a mark. The other category is called MSQ, multi-select question. This also can carry 1 mark or 2 mark depending upon the difficulty level. These questions are also objective in nature where you have 4 choices given. But here the difference is there can be more than 1 correct answers. You need to write, suppose if there are 3 correct answers, you need to write all the 3 to get mark. But here there is no negative marking for this. So you can try your luck here if you want. The third category is numerical answer type question where the answer is basically a number. It can be a fraction also. There is a space wherein using a virtual keyboard you have to type the number. So it can be fractions with some rounding that is being given. So here you don't know what is the answer. You have to calculate and get the number. There is no negative mark for these questions. So like what I told, the general aptitude is 5 plus 5, 15 mark, and subject is 25 plus 30, 85 marks. This 25 is 25 1 mark questions and 32 mark questions. So that makes it total of 85 marks. So 5 plus 5 won't be 15, 5 1 mark question and 5 2 mark questions. Now the actual score, the actual mark is out of 100 based upon what is correct and what is wrong. For MCQs, if the mark is wrong, that is called actual raw gate marks. Now there is something called gate score. Gate score and gate mark are different. Gate mark is your actual mark you obtained out of 100 for the questions that you attempted minus the negative mark for the MCQ questions. Gate score is calculated out of 1000. Gate score is generally a comparative score based upon the top 0.1% of candidates who wrote that paper or top 10% of top 10 candidates who appeared in the exam. So gate score is computed based upon the actual marks obtained by the candidate with respect to the mean mark of top 0.1% or top 10 of the candidates who appeared in the same paper. Let me clarify you with the help of an example. So gate score is typically calculated with this equation. Let me tell it. So here the subscript Q stands for qualifying score and subscript T stands for topper's score. The entries without subscript like M, that is your mark. So consider you got 50 mark out of 100 for computer science GATE exam 2023. So this SQ generally it is fixed as 350 and ST, it is the GATE score of the topper is fixed to top 10 candidates or top 0.1% candidates, whichever is larger. So SQ is 350 and ST is 900 and qualifying mark is put as 25. So what is MT? MT is the mark of those 10 candidates or 0.1% of candidates. Now you apply in this equation. 350 is the qualifying score SQ, 900 is the ST, that is qualifying score of the top 10 candidates or 0.1% candidates, 900 minus 350, and then the fraction portion, M minus MQ divided by MT minus NQ. So you get 561. So somebody with 50 mark, their score is 561 because based upon how difficult. So that means basic idea is the rank 1 will get a gate score of 999 roughly, or top 0.1% of candidates, their gate score is average of their gate score is fixed to 900. So if a paper is relatively difficult, then the topper's mark also will come down. So there is a chance that your gate mark is fixed, but your gate score can relatively go high. If a paper is really easy, even though you have very high grade mark. So in computer science, mark 50 maybe score 561. Maybe in civil engineering, mark 50 maybe only score 400. So it depends upon the relative difficulty of the paper. Now, little bit of statistics that I wanted to share with you. This may be of something for an interest for you. This shows that the table shows that how many people wrote computer science gate exam from 2014 up to 2022. In 2014, 1,55,000 students wrote gate exam. You can see that it came to 1,15,000, 1,31,000, 1,08,000. Like that in 2022, 77,000 students wrote gate exam. One reason can be there is a less demand for gate exam or students are getting placed. That can be one reason. Or the number of students opting for computer science nationally, that the number has significantly come down. That is also the reason. And you can see that the qualifying mark is 25 for general category. Like I'm talking about gate 2022, which is the first row here. So you can see that this is 77,000 students wrote last year gate exam and qualifying score was 25. If you are belonging to OBC or economically weaker section, then qualifying score is 22.5. And if it is for SC, ST or PWD candidates, the qualifying score is 16.6 as per the law governed by it. And the rank 1 was 81 mark. So all India rank 1 mark was 81. Out of 77,000 students who wrote, 12,000 students only got qualified in CS. One is the brightest in the country, sometimes may not write, they may be happy with the placements that they have, or computer science students are not serious or their fundamentals is really lacking. That is why out of 77,000 students, only 12,000 could cross the qualifying score. You can see qualifying score is very less. Out of 100, 15 mark is for general aptitude. Then can you get 10 mark out of that 72 for the subject so that you may get up to 72, the 25 marks. Now look at the split up. Out of the 12,000 students who qualified last year, only 1% got more than 80. 12% people got between 70 and 80. So if you are all India rank is 13, your mark is 70. So with 70% of syllabus, if you study, you are all India 12. Now between 60 and 70, we have 135, and above 50, if you look into between 50 and 60 marks, we have 571. So all India rank 900, which is a very good score to get into IITs. They know only 50% of computer science syllabus in GATE exam. So this is a wonderful statistics which will really help you. If at all you are really going, study 60% of syllabus, study it very carefully, apply for GATE, and then you can get a score less than 1,000. Score less than 1,000 means that is something like a very good performance. You can get into some IITs or some public sector companies. Even that is been valued in many of the companies if you are going for a recruitment. And GATE score is valid for 3 years. Let's say you qualify GATE this year, you wanted to go for a company job for 1 year. With the same GATE score, next year you can apply for an MTech or a PhD program. GATE has validity for 3 years. So like that, you can see majority of the students scored between 20 and 30, 6,000 students roughly. So this gives you some statistics on it. Now, how do you compute the qualifying criteria? Computer science, over the years, you can look into that. The previous years, it is 26.1 was the cutoff. In 2020, it is 28.5, 29, and many years 25. So how do you find this? What is the qualifying cutoff? So what you do is you compute mu and sigma, where mu stands for the arithmetic mean of the scores, and sigma is the standard deviation of the marks. You compute mu plus sigma or 25, whichever is larger. So if 25 is larger than mu plus sigma, then 25 is the cutoff score. If mu plus sigma is larger than 25, then mu plus sigma is the cutoff score. So whatever is the cutoff score for general category, 0.9 times of that, that is a cutoff for OBC, and 2/3 of the general score is the cutoff score for SC, ST, and PWD. So if some papers like civil and mechanical, then you cannot accommodate all students in one 3-hour session because of the larger number of candidates writing it. So you split it across two sessions. So then you need to normalize these questions. Means the difficulty level has to be normalized. So looking into GATE CS paper components, these are the only 10 subjects that you need to study GATE. You may be studying another total of 40 different subjects. You have engineering mathematics, which will give you 13 marks out of 100. Digital logic and computer organization together will. So each of the section will have roughly 8 marks. So if you study, let's say, theory of, or if you study programming data structures well, you get 8 marks. If you know computer organization well, you get another 8 marks. So 8 plus 8, 16. Then for general aptitude, that is more than enough for you to score. So there is a wrong notion that you need to study all the subject in order to qualify a GATE score, which is wrong. You see, there are 10 subjects that you can see: engineering mathematics, digital logic, computer organization and architecture, programming and data structures, algorithms, theory of computation, compiler design, operating system, databases, and computer networks. Rough percentage of each is about 8 to 9 marks. Now, inside that engineering mathematics, there are a lot many things that you studied in your first year maths, second year maths. You need to study only little bit of discrete mathematics, linear algebra, calculus, and probability. The other portions are not there. So whatever is comfortable for you, if you find so discrete mathematics easy, study only that. Linear algebra, if that is what you want, you can go for it. If you find calculus comfortable or it's so difficult, skip it. You may lose only 1 or 2 marks. So once you understand the syllabus, it is easy for you to grasp. Now coming into the second section, digital logic. Here you need to study Boolean algebra, combinational and sequential circuits, minimization, number representation, and computer arithmetic. If you know this much, it is guaranteed that you get 8 marks. Out of 8 marks, 5 would be very easy, 1 or 2 would be little difficult. Coming to a 1 semester full long computer organization course that you learned in your BTech, for GATE syllabus, it is only machine instruction, addressing modes, ALU, data path and control unit, instruction pipeline, pipeline hazards, memory hierarchy, cache, main memory, secondary storage, and IO. In IO, only interrupt and DMA mode. That will get you another 8 marks in GATE exam. Coming to programming and data structures, basic programming in C, I'm sure that you may be very confident in that. Recursion, arrays, stacks, queues, linked lists, trees, binary search trees, binary heaps, and graphs. This will give you roughly 10 mark advantage if you know this. Section 5 is on algorithms, which talks about searching, sorting, hashing, then asymptotic worst case time and space complexity. Especially algorithm design techniques, which you learned in your third year: greedy technique, dynamic programming, divide and conquer approach, graph traversals, minimum spanning tree, and shortest path algorithms. Then theory of computation, some students find TOC very difficult, some people will skip it, some find it very interesting, so they will focus on it. Anyway, it's 6 to 7 marks. Regular expression and finite automata, context-free grammars, push-down automata, regular and context-free languages, pumping lemma, Turing machine, and undecidability. Then we have limited portions of compiler design, which involves various phases of compiler: lexical analyzer, parsing, syntax analyzer, the runtime environments, intermediate code generation, local optimization, data flow analysis, constant propagation, liveness analysis, and common sub-expression elimination. So whatever you learn across one semester, maybe a 1 or 2 week topic will come to GATE. So we can carefully study accordingly. Coming to operating systems, basic system calls, process thread, inter-process communication, concurrency, IO scheduling and CPU scheduling, memory management, and virtual memory, file systems. Many other portions are also not there. Limited portion of OS. Then databases, simple ER model, relational algebra, tuple calculus, SQLs, integrity constraints, the normal forms of the table, file organization, plus indexing, transactions, and concurrency control. And the last subject is computer networks, which talks about the 7-layer OSI model, the functions of different layers that you can see, fragmentation and IP addressing, IP4, then different network protocols at network, transport, and application layer. So this gives you a brief overview that it is not only about studying the entire BTech subjects that you learned, 10 subjects selectively. So if you feel certain subject you are very confident, focus only on that. But certain subjects you are not comfortable, leave it. There is no need to study, because even if you study, sometimes the questions may be little tricky one and you may not be able to answer. Now, if you apply for GATE, by January first week, you will get a GATE admit card. This is that is used for entering into the GATE exam center. Like what I mentioned, the admit card, if you look into, it carries a roll number. The first two will be alphabets, which will tell you which branch that you are writing. So for you, you will be CS. Then which year you are writing GATE. So you get CS 23. Now I told there are 4 days. Each day there is a forenoon exam and an afternoon session. So there are basically 8 sessions for GATE, S1 to S8. So this will tell you under which session you are having exam. Then there is a zonal code. Entire India is divided into 8 zones. So the next digit will tell you which zone you belong to. Typically, if you write in Trivandrum, you belong to zone 7. But if you write in Northern Kerala, you belong to zone 1. And within that zone, there are many computer centers, or TCS is a generally channel partner. So these computer centers, the computer center number, and within that, what is your number. So you can see every information inside GATE. And you need not carry calculators. There are already virtual calculators that is available. And once you get a good GATE score, on March 2nd, 3rd week, you can download your GATE score where your name, register number, everything is there. This is the score which acts as an entry point to public sector companies and for admission. You can see that this is a sample GATE score where the mark out of 100 is written. All India rank is written. So with somebody with 68 marks, you got all India rank 221. Wonderful. And the score, I told about how to convert from mark to score. So 796. Qualifying mark for this particular paper was 33 for general, 30 for OBC, and 22 for SC/ST. And there are 93,000 students who wrote GATE exam, and this corresponding score is rank 221. Now coming to where you write, if you belong to Northern Kerala, Kannur, Kozhikode, Malappuram, Palakkad, and Thrissur, then you come under IIC Bangalore zone. So these are the cities where you can get. Or if your parents are in some other cities, let's say Bangalore or Chennai during February, you can even write from there. If you belong to southern portion of Kerala, including Trivandrum, it comes under IIT Madras zone for writing. So people from IIT Madras is coming to the corresponding centers for conducting exam. So accordingly, you can choose. You will get all the details in the information brochure. Coming to the fees, government is giving special preference and so relaxation to female candidates. You need to pay only 850 for writing the GATE exam per paper. If you write 2 papers, 850 into 2. This is if you apply before September 30. But up to October 7, you can apply. The fees would be slightly higher. And similarly, for some relaxation is for the reserved category SC/ST as well as physically challenged candidates, 850 rupees. For all other category, it is 1,700 per paper with a late fee of 22,000. So that is another aspect of this. And then let's say you belong to some other country where your parents are settled, either in Bangladesh or Nepal or Dubai or Singapore. We have centers for GATE in these outside India countries also. So for Bangladesh and Kathmandu, Dhaka and Kathmandu, it is $100 is the registration fee. If you write the exam from Dubai or Singapore, then you have to pay 200 rupees as a registration fee. Now, how to prepare for GATE? First is start early, so special focus on 10 GATE subjects. If you start from now onwards, spend a week, 10 hours per week is more than enough. Self-study for fixed number of hours per week using study materials. Study materials can be obtained. There are a lot many training centers for GATE. Some of your seniors might have prepared GATE. Or even the IIT's website also has a study material. So you can study. Only thing is you need to reserve some time every day for preparation of the GATE. You need to understand which are your strong subjects, which are your weak subjects, and accordingly focus your attention. IIT Kanpur already have the previous year question papers and the answers. So GATE is all about less surprises. So like what I told, go and look into the organizing institute website. You can see previous year question paper and try to see how many of them you can answer. The answers are also given. They conduct practice exam and mock exam. Some of the private coaching centers also. If you are not familiar to computer-based exam, how it is, then you can write mock exam. Some nominal fee has to be given. You can write exam in third year if you want, and then if you feel, just to get a feel, or if you are not prepared also, you write now, and after 1 year also you can go for it. And there are some students who forgo campus placement job even if they got very good jobs. A big trend in Bihar, in Delhi, and in Andhra, that first they get a campus placement in the college, then they will not join the company, because they get a confidence that they can get a job through campus placement. Then they go for 1 year full-time GATE coaching, get a rank of less than 200 or 300, get into IIT Madras or top IITs or IIC Bangalore, study another 2 more years for MTech, and directly go to the level 8 or level 9 salary package, or going for a PhD program abroad in some Western universities and having a much, much better career choice after that. So many students I have seen in colleges who have started, because the feedback from seniors tell that no, this IT company jobs after 2 or 3 years, it becomes very much monotonous. Growth is very less, very much hard work, and then they are not paid when it compared to the amount of work. So it's always better to have higher degrees. And stay focused. These are hard days, but you will be rewarded 10 years down the line. I know classic example. I was fortunate enough to teach at Rajagiri Engineering College for 2 years prior to my IIT job. So there was a case of two students, and there are a lot of good campus placements there. Many students joined for job. 2, 3 students ultimately what they decided is they also got a campus placement job, I think in TCS or Cognizant. I don't know exactly where it is. And they got advice that let's prepare for GATE. They went to Hyderabad for 1 year full-time GATE coaching. All of them got rank less than 300. 2 of them got in IIT Madras. One of them got in IIT Kanpur. They did a 2 year MTech, and one of them did an MS program. And within 2 years, 1 year for GATE coaching, 2 year for MTech, within 3 years, they got a very good job, which was 4 times higher salary than what their friends are currently earning who got a campus placement at that time. So the friends were working all the 4 years. They went for 1 year exclusive GATE preparation and another 2 more years of study in a good institute, and they are now better placed. So that is the difference. So please try to understand that if you are looking for higher studies in India, write GATE as soon as possible. If you are not prepared now, you can take it a chance for 1 year full-time coaching, because if a lot of students are going for full-time coaching, sacrificing campus placement jobs, then that means there is something inside that. That's why even if somebody who get rank 1,000, they are coming for repeating 1 more year to make the rank less than 1,000 so that he can get entry into public sector companies. So rather than becoming one among the BTech students, there are close to 3.5 to 4 lakh computer science engineers graduating from our country. Rather than becoming one among that, go for the next higher degree and get benefit, and explore PhD options also so that you get entry into core placement jobs. If you don't know how to prepare, there is a free NPTEL site where you can get study material, GATE syllabus mapping, live mentoring sessions, video solutions, GATE practice tests, which is available. So it's free of cost. Try to get benefit out of this and go into coveted positions down the line. Or else what happens is you may have a comfortable job. It may be good 2 or 3 years, but 5 years down the line, you can see that your subordinates comes with higher qualification from prestigious institutes, and they may bypass you soon. And later it will be very difficult for you once you settle in family to go for higher studies. So with that, I complete. If there is any question, I'll be happy to take the questions. If at all you wanted to write or seek any advice from me, it is good.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. I guess now we can move on to the questions. Does anybody have any questions to ask?
Hello, good morning, sir. So my questions is that how many seats are available for master's degree in IITs and all through GATE?
Can you be very specific? Is it branch specific or it is like across all branches?
For computer science only across all branches.
So computer science, generally the first 7 IITs have roughly 70. So 70 into 8 IITs, that has 600 to 700 seats available in the top 7 IITs. And then if you take the new IITs put together, computer science, the number of MTech seats add up to 1,500. There is equal number of PhD seat also. So 1,500 for MTech and another 1,200 for PhD. So you can even try for PhD admission, but after 2 years, if you wanted to go with an MTech program, it's like a single entry and multiple exit as per the new education policy. So that is the general ranking that comes in CS.
So out of 77, approximately 80,000 or 1 lakh students, only like 80 seats are 70 seats are available for this thing.
No, that is per IIT.
Yeah, per IIT only 70 seats. Isn't it
70 seats per IIT. So that means if you put in all IITs put together, 1,000 seats for IIT CS, another 1,000 seats for NIT. So 3,000 to 4,000, if you get a rank, you get a sure rank in IIT, NIT or triple IT, which is a elite entry to next level.
Okay,
So 3,000 to 3,500 seats in these three category of institutes put together.
yeah, okay, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Does anybody have any more questions?
Hi, sir.
Yes,
Uh,
hi, how are you?
In 29 different gate codes. So I am a CS student, but if I want to pursue my PG in a different branch like electrical, which state should I write?
Can I know which branch you are? You are from?
I am a CS student.
CS student. Okay. So in GATE exam, we don't generally restrict any student. You can, at the time of application, you can write any branch. You can even write civil, mechanical, architecture, whatever that is. We just ask which is your undergraduate degree, but you are free enough to choose any branch of your choice for writing GATE exam. There is no connection between your undergraduate degree and the GATE exam that you write. And now you can write at most 2 GATE papers, which are not clashing in terms of timetable. Okay, there are 29 different GATE streams, which are mapped to 8 sections, which you can see from the brochure. So anything that is not clashing, you can write that. There is absolutely not a problem. When it comes to admission, some institutes will tell, okay, your bachelor degree should be this, and your GATE also should be in certain branch. Some institutions for certain specialization will tell your BTech can be any branch, but GATE should be this. Some will tell your BTech should be from this branch, but GATE can be anything. So admission is totally different. At the time of GATE exam, nobody to restrict you, and you can write any number of times also.
Thank you, sir.
But sir, do we have any more questions? Hi, sir. My question is, what is the best advice that you can give to a student appearing for the GATE 2023?
You are in which year now? The final year.
Fourth year, final year.
Yeah. So 2023, you have another 5 more months if you count from October onwards, not 4 months. There are two things. If at all you have not started the preparation, identify 5 subjects out of 10. These 5 subjects, you really try to concentrate, look at the previous question papers, go through the chapter every day, solve at least 20 questions in time. So typically during my time, what I prepared was, I will, let's say I take a chapter for stack today, for data structure. I try to solve some stack based questions for 20 minutes, 15 questions maybe I'll solve. At the end of 20 minutes, I check the answers, whether it is correct or not. So I was in an examination kind of mode for every 20 minutes. Then you try to solve and look at the answers. If you don't know, ask your teachers or ask in online portal. Or that is one way to do. Or else at the weekend, if you wanted to go for any specialized preparation, you can do that. So only practice. It's all about reducing surprise. When you go for an exam, you should not be seeing any new question by itself. Almost all questions which are asked in the past, it is familiar to you. And consistently work for 10 hours a week. It's very easy to get a rank within 1,000 if you start now. Another 4 months.
Thank you so much, sir. Do we have any more questions from anyone? Okay, so we can conclude our session for today. Before that, I would like to call Ria Merin for the vote of thanks. Good afternoon to one and all present here. Respected sir, members of the faculty, and my dear friends. The duty offered to me today is to propose the vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to place on record my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. John Jose, who spared time on his busy schedule to address us on the importance of GATE exam. He gave us an overview on GATE, stressing on its opportunities,
and shared valuable tips to improve our preparation. On behalf of all of us, I express our sincere thanks to you, sir.
Thank you.
I also thank our teachers for organizing the session and helping us through this crucial point. Lastly, I thank you all for your patience at the bits. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Okay, so wish you all the best. If you plan to write, it's good. Or suppose if you don't want to go for any higher studies, put an effort and see where you stand. You are graduating from a reasonably good college, so it should be so reflected on a national level exam also. Best of luck.